So it is, what's the date? August 26th?
August 26th, baby.
August 26th, Wednesday morning. We were thinking about picking a little bit of Pinot Noir
You look cute.
for rosé tomorrow. Thank you. But it's finally cooled off. We had about 10 days of really hot weather where it was in the 90s and things were really moving. As you can see today, it's super foggy. It's about 58 degrees. The last 2 or 3 days, the weather's really cooled off, and so sugar accumulation and maturity has started to slow down. So we're just going to do one last grape sample to see if we want to pick tomorrow or maybe wait till next week. So we're looking at some of the Pommard clone of Pinot Noir here, and we set out earlier in the year when we were pruning and shoot thinning. We left a little bit more fruit here because we thought we were going to make some Pinot Noir. It seemed like a good idea.
You mean we were going to make some
We were going to make some rosé from the Pinot Noir, and so we're gonna sample it and do some berry sampling. Pommard, the bottom block. It's a 0.3 acres. We'll probably just get 1 ton out of this, which will give us, about 60 cases of rosé. So we're doing berry sampling as opposed to cluster sampling, and you just walk up and down the rows and you pull a berry every so often, a couple off of each vine, and try to get them from different clusters, different positions. But you can see here the fruit looks pretty nice, pretty healthy. Some of it's still fairly firm, which means maybe it's not quite ready. But with rosé, the picking decisions can be a little bit more technical as far as the pH and the sugar. We really want to have the alcohol of the wine be between 12 and maybe 12.5%. So we are pretty conscious of where the sugar is, and we want it to have good acidity, but we don't want it to be super tart.
We don't want like sour. One little guy goes in the bag.
Here's our grape sample. And we're gonna go back to the winery and check the sugar and the pH and make a decision. Get our pH meter set up.
Dirty boy.
Then we gotta crush up our grape sample. Just crush them up. And get all the juice released from the berries, and so we get an accurate reading. No point in sampling all the grapes if you don't crush them all up. How does it taste? Now we're going to take our refractometer and put a little bit of juice on the lens and look through and find out what the bricks are, what the sugar is.
Okay.
It is at like 20.3. So let's check the pH now.
Ooh. Yowzers.
So the 20.3 bricks that we got on the sample, that would convert to maybe just under 12% alcohol, which is really our bare minimum. So we're looking at the pH now as well, and the pH is showing 3.17, 3.16. That's pretty low. So I think we might be inclined to just wait another 4 or 5 days, let that pH go up a little bit, and get a little more ripeness in the grapes.
What do you know, honey? We're in agreement.
Good.
Good. It's nice to be in agreement. And in order to get the alcohol level, it's just a quick calculation. You take the bricks, which in this case is 20.3, and you multiply that by what we think our conversion rate will be, which is generally 0.59. Sometimes ours is a little higher. So I'll do the calculation so you can see what we think the alcohol is going to be. anything else you're looking for in ripeness?
Sometimes we're looking to see if the seeds are brown, and these are starting to get fairly brown. You can see there are a lot of brown ones. Some that are still a little kind of light, but that's pretty nice to see it. Just over 20 bricks, and the juice released some color right away too, which, I mean, obviously this is not dark, it's Pinot Noir, but just to see that it's coloring up a little bit, that's also a good sign of ripeness that we look for.
It's also rosé, so we don't want it dark. We want it the opposite of dark.
That's correct.
We want it light.
Not light.
Put your juice back. What are you going to do with that?
Well, sometimes I just let it sit overnight and just see how the color looks the next day, just for fun and education.